Alright guys, back with a bit of a different video. Shout out to Rated R Sports Cards and Games. I got this idea from some videos that he was making where he was showing a hit for every team and he was doing it for like multiple sports. And I thought that was a good idea, and it got me thinking, like, could I do that for any sport? I knew my best shot was going to be with baseball or basketball. I knew there's no way I could do it for football or hockey. So I just started looking through some boxes, and I was able to come up with one hit for every Major League Baseball team. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. This might take a while. I might have to stop a few times in between, but should be fun. So let's get started. And we're going to go in alphabetical order from the city for each team. So we're going to start out with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I chose this Didi Gregorius gold finest autograph with a jersey piece on there. Really cool card. I actually bought this when the Yankees traded for Gregorius. Didn't know a whole lot about him at the time, and I just had heard that he was like a decent prospect for the Reds and Diamondbacks. So the day that the Yankees traded for him, I picked this up on eBay, and he ended up becoming one of my favorite Yankees the past few years. Was really disappointed when they let him go, but sometimes Brian Cashman, I think, tries to be too smart, kind of outsmarts himself. Should have just left Didi at short and Glaber at second and move LeMahieu around the way they did last year. So next we go to the Atlanta Braves. Didn't really think I had any Braves hits because I think I've shipped most of them out to people, but did find this Andrelton Simmons autograph from Bowman Chrome Prospects 2012. This is around the time I really started to like jump back into the hobby like full force. I was buying packs, I was buying boxes. I think I only bought like 2 packs of this and pulled this Andrelton Simmons. Had no idea who he was at the time. He turned out to be a decent player, but one of those players that always seems to be hurt. Next is the Baltimore Orioles, and really love this card right here. It's a nice big chunky patch of Adam Jones, number 3 out of 5. Picked this up in a Three River auction a few years ago. Not a big fan of the Orioles, never been a big fan of Adam Jones either, but the card just looks really cool, so love that card. Next is the Boston Red Sox, and I picked a former Yankee. That might be a theme you see throughout some of these. Picked a lot of former Yankees. There's David Wells. It says Dodgers there, so that was when he went to the Dodgers, but clearly wearing a Red Sox uniform, and that's definitely a Red Sox jersey piece there. But yeah, I loved David Wells when he was here and hated seeing him in that uniform. I remember he pitched in Yankee Stadium when he was with Boston, and he got booed off the mound. And in the post game, he was like all shocked. He was like, I don't know how the Yankee fans could boo me, but I'm like, you just don't get it, David. Like, doesn't matter who you are. If you're wearing that uniform, they're definitely going to boo you. Next is the Chicago Cubs. I picked this Kyle Schwarber jersey piece from Panini, number 49. It's a really nice looking card in person. So yeah, for all these cards that I picked, I just picked like cards that I thought looked pretty cool. Wasn't necessarily picking my most expensive card from each team or whoever I think the most popular players are or anything. Just cards that I liked. So picked that Schwarber. And case in point, this guy's not really popular here. Gordon Beckham, rookie auto from Topps 206. But again, just really like the look of the card. He was a decent prospect back in the day. I actually bought a few of his autographs, not because I was prospecting him or anything, just saw him play a few times, kind of liked him, but another one of those players that could just never stay healthy. He's been bouncing around like AAA and the big leagues for a few teams the past few years. So yeah, that was obviously the Chicago White Sox. Next is the Cincinnati Reds. This card actually has 2 players on it, but I'm going to count it as the Cincinnati Reds card. It's a dual relic with Griffey Jr. and Sammy Sosa. Another really nice card. Really like this set. They had some pretty cool pairings of different players. I think they had like different material pieces too on some of them. Next is the Cleveland Indians, and went with another former Yankee. But just a really sweet card there. I had to show that one. Rookie auto of CC Sabathia from Topps Traded. Remember, he was such a big prospect at that time, and he's actually one of the prospects that turned out to live up to the hype. Tremendous career for CC. This guy, on the other hand, did not live up to the hype, but really cool card for the Colorado Rockies spot. X-Fractor autograph of Jeff Francis. He had a few okay seasons. I think he pitched in the Yankee minor league system for like a year late in his career. But again, just a beautiful looking card there. I think I got this for like $3. Thought those were numbered, but I guess not. But yeah, that's the Colorado Rockies representative. Next up is the Detroit Tigers, and didn't think I had a Detroit Tigers hit because thought I had given most of them away, but I did find this Victor Martinez bat piece. Pulled that from a box of Topps a few years ago. So decent looking card of a really good player. For the Houston Astros, again, did not think I had any Houston Astros hits, but I found like 2 or 3 of them. Decided to show this one again. Show that one in a contest response a while back. Jose Lima autograph from SP Authentic. But just really like that card. I like a lot of these old autograph sets. I think that's from like 2000. But yeah, before they went overboard with autographs in every product, some of those early autograph sets were really nice. And for the Kansas City Royals, only had 1 hit, but it's a really nice one. It's this Salvador Perez letter jersey piece from his All-Star jersey, and it is a 1 of 1. I also pulled this from the same box where I pulled Victor Martinez. The card was a bit banged up, like right out of the pack, but still a great looking card. Love that card. Great player too, although he's been injured the past few years. And for the Los Angeles Angels, I actually had quite a few Angels hits, but none of the big guys that everybody would think of, like Trout or Ohtani and all that. But how about one of the old school Angels, Troy Glaus? Had some big home run seasons back in the day. That's a really sweet Topps Gallery on-card auto. So I guess they were still the Anaheim Angels back then, but we'll count that as the Los Angeles Angels representative. Moving along with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I had a few Dodgers hits, but it was mostly prospects that I didn't really care about, so I went with an old school guy again with the Dodgers. Manny Ramirez jersey card. Clearly still wearing his Red Sox gear there, but he got the Dodgers logo there, so that's good enough for me. And man, he was with the Dodgers briefly, but he was amazing in that brief time he was with the Dodgers. Next is the Miami Marlins spot. This is back when they were still the Florida Marlins, but still good enough. This AJ Burnett gold autograph from Skybox Autographics, numbered to 25. Yet another former Yankee. I actually had this card twice. I had this before he was a Yankee, and I ended up selling it on eBay when he had one of his big seasons with Toronto. And then I think it was the following year he signed with the Yankees, and I ended up picking this up again. When I sold it, I kind of regretted it right away, so even if he hadn't become a Yankee, I probably would have picked this up again at some point. And for the Milwaukee Brewers, I was struggling to find a hit. Then I remembered I had a few in a stack for the broadcast that I've been meaning to send them since like last winter. So I took this one from there, this Eric Thames jersey card. Nice looking card there. So yeah, this one won't be in my collection permanently because I'm going to put it right back into that stack for Chris from the broadcast. Next up is the Minnesota Twins. And again, for the Twins, I was struggling to find some hits because I guess most of them went to Dustin and Blake. But I did have this one still. I actually think I sent Dustin and Blake one of these Joe Mauer rookie jersey cards. I had 3 of these at one point. I sold one when he had one of his big seasons. And like I said, I think I sent one to Dustin and Blake. And still have this one left. There's a bit of a pinstripe down there. But yeah, nice rookie relic of a really good hitter. And I decided to include the Montreal Expos, even though they're not a team anymore. But I have a really nice Expos card, which is actually one of my favorite cards in the entire collection. This Livan Hernandez. 2 great looking patches. Got the auto, numbered to 5. Really sweet card. Got this insanely cheap. I guess most people don't really appreciate him. Sometimes he had like a high ERA. He would give up a ton of home runs, but always like watching him pitch. Type of guy that could give you like 125 pitches per game and get you deep into the ball game every time out. And for the New York Mets, I had a few to choose from. Came down to like two that I really wanted to show, but I wanted to keep it to just one card per team, so I chose this one. It's Ray Ordonez jersey card from the first ever baseball jersey card set. It was a 3-card set with Ray and Tony Gwynn and Ken Griffey Jr. I have the Ray, I have the Tony Gwynn, and I will likely never have the Griffey Jr. Next is the New York Yankees, and obviously had a lot to choose from, but decided to go with this one because I don't think I've shown this one yet. This Don Mattingly autograph. I picked this up a few weeks ago in a Snodzilla fire sale on Facebook, and like I said, I don't think I ever made a video for it, so decided to show it in this video. Numbered to 170 from this year's Topps Tribute. The Oakland A's are up next, and I had a few Oakland A's hits. Chose this one, this dual autograph with Jose Canseco and some prospect at the time that I'm sure they hoped it was going to be the next Jose Canseco. That's numbered to 50. So yeah, I pulled this card from a box a while ago and just liked it, so kept it all this time. But yeah, I have no idea who Daniel Putnam is. Next up is the Philadelphia Phillies, and yet again, same story. Couldn't really find too many Phillies hits. I guess most of them have gone to Wesker Griff, but I think I did have like 2 or 3 Phillies hits, and I chose this one. Pretty nice looking card of former huge prospect Kyle Drabek. Was wondering if anybody would remember this guy. That's numbered to 500. But yeah, he was the son, or is the son, of former big leaguer Doug Drabek. But he was such a huge prospect. He was one of the main guys that the Phillies traded to Toronto when they traded for Roy Halladay. So I guess the Blue Jays were hoping he was going to be like another Roy Halladay type, but didn't quite work out. I got this years later for like $3 in a bargain bin. But as I've said, I like getting like failed prospect autographs just to kind of remember some of these guys and remember when cards like this were worth like $100. I'm sure people that paid $100 for that don't want to remember. A few more to go here. We're up to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And again, I guess I've shipped out most of my Pirate stuff to Bob Lewis. Didn't have too many, but I did still have this Neil Walker autograph from Fleer Hot Prospects. Good player, but he's another one of those guys that was like a big prospect. Didn't live up to the superstar hype, but still turned out to have an okay career. Played with the Mets and Yankees here locally. Numbered to 299. So yeah, I got this years later when he was no longer considered a prospect. Like, it was when he was with the Mets and he was playing pretty well. I saw him play a few times and picked this up for like $5, I think. And then the following year, I think it's when he signed with the Yankees for 1 season. Next is the San Diego Padres. And actually, I had quite a few Padres hits. They've always been kind of like a side PC team of mine. Always liked them going back to the Tony Gwynn days. And even after the Gwynn days, like, they had a good young team for a few years where I thought they were going to be good for a long time, but their window kind of closed pretty quick and they broke that team up. But yeah, every now and then I would buy some Padres cards. So for the Padres, I was considering, do I just show like a Tony Gwynn relic or autograph? But for this video, I was trying to show stuff that I otherwise wouldn't show in other videos. So I figured I could just do a Gwynn showcase at some other point in time. So chose not to show Tony Gwynn for the Padres. Instead, I chose this one. So these were some of the good young players they had at that time. It's from 2007. You got Kevin Kuzmanov, who was a decent prospect. Chase Headley, who had a decent career. And Justin Hampson, who I think became like a situational lefty out of the bullpen for a few teams. But yeah, just another nice looking card. You could probably get this for $10 or less, but I like it, so I keep it in my collection. And it's numbered to 35. Next, for the San Francisco Giants, I actually went into my Puerto Rican PC box to get this one, which I could have done for a lot of these teams, but I really didn't want to do that because, again, I could just do a Puerto Rican PC showcase to show all of those. But I did pick a Puerto Rican player for this one. It's Benji Molina, bat relic card. So he actually got a ring with the Giants, even though he played against the Giants in that World Series. For those that don't remember that, he started the year with the Giants, then got traded to the Texas Rangers, and the Rangers faced the Giants in the World Series, and the Giants won, and they gave him a ring because he was with them for like the first half of the season. And I remember initially he didn't want that ring because since he was on the losing team with Texas, he didn't feel he deserved that ring, I guess. But I think eventually he accepted it. Next for the Seattle Mariners, didn't really have a lot of really cool Mariners hits, so I went with an obvious Seattle Mariners player, Ken Griffey Jr. jersey card, number /99 from Immaculate. I know some of the baseball dudes kind of turn their nose up at Panini baseball stuff, but you gotta admit that's a sweet looking card there. Winding down here, got a few teams left to go. Here's one for the St. Louis Cardinals. Nice shiny jersey card of Adam Wainwright. Really good pitcher, has had a good long career. I think he signed for this year, but not sure if he chose to play or not. But yeah, I got this in a group break with Sports Cards Detour. Not sure if this was actually something pulled in the break or one of his bonus cards, because he always throws in like bonus cards. But again, just a nice looking card there representing the Cardinals. For the Tampa Bay Rays, I actually had a few old school Devil Ray hits, but decided to go with a modern guy here. One of the few modern guys in this whole stack, Willie Adames. Beautiful card there from, what is that, Triple Threads? Yeah, Topps Triple Threads, numbered to 50. I think I got that in a deafness auction. The Texas Rangers turned out to be a really tough team to choose a hit from because I had a lot of nice ones that I wanted to pick, but ended up going with this Alex Rodriguez jersey autograph card from another cool old autograph set, Upper Deck Legends. They had autographs and relics and obviously autograph relic combos. It was just a really awesome set back then. Really high-end set when it came out. But yeah, I have an A-Rod Texas Rangers auto and a Seattle Mariners auto, but still need an A-Rod Yankee auto to complete the trifecta. And yeah, I took that one out of the top loader because it was actually in an old yellow top loader, so gotta upgrade that. For the Toronto Blue Jays, this card was actually pretty easy to choose. Autograph card of Vernon Wells. Loved him back in the day. They used to play the Yankees so many times, so I would see him play a lot and just thought he was a tremendous player. Kind of fell off a bit when he went to the Angels and played one season with the Yankees towards the end where he really didn't have much left. But yeah, those Blue Jays days, he was a legit 5-tool guy, and again, just one of my favorite players from that era. And finally, the last card here, representing the Washington Nationals. I had a few Nationals hits, but decided to end the video with a big card. This Bowman Chrome prospect auto of Bryce Harper. I bought this when he was a few years in the league. Was hoping that he'd be a Yankee one day, but even though he didn't turn out to be a Yankee, still a really cool card to own. Really cool card to end the video on. So thanks again to Rated R Sports Cards for giving me this idea. It was a lot of fun. I'm actually going to see if I can do it for basketball too, but not sure I'll be able to represent every team, so we'll see. Regardless, I'll talk to you guys again sometime soon.